folks, and welcome to now what is the top 10 vintage board games of all time. I am super excited to be here once again, one final time with Norm from the Board Game Museum, Jamie the Board Game Man, and gentlemen, thank you so much. This has been so good, so much fun.
Thank you for the invite. It's always great to see you guys.
Yes, sir.
Well, I decided to pull a Jamie today, and now I have all 10 games in front of me. So I'll be pulling them up to the camera because I really love how you did that. And I'm going to go ahead and have Norm start with number 10. And I don't know if you had something else to say.
No, just that I'm going to Gen Z this thing, and I'm going to just.
There you go. All right, what's number 10, Norm?
All right, number 10. Okay, Okay, this is a game. It's a big game. I'll just show it to you here. It's Battle.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever seen Battle Dome?
What is it called?
Battle Dome.
No, don't know this one. Interesting.
Okay, well, here's a picture of it.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a big four-way pinball game, and you have this thing on top here that shoots these marbles down, and it's going to roll down one of these things. You're basically just trying to shoot them into your opponent's goal over here. And you've got these little bells and things that are getting in the way, and these balls just fall, and there's going to be a lot of them out there. So it's real frenetic, just ball after ball after ball coming towards you, and you're just trying to defend your goal. Very simple to play. It's a big game. Let me see here. There's a look at how big it is.
Wow.
But it's a fun game. It's very easy, but it looks really cool on the table. It looks like a really big toy, but it's fun. It's a fun game.
Awesome. That's awesome. Battle Dome.
Battle Dome. Sounds
an epic name for a game that's just three-way pinball, but it's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think multi-ball.
Yeah. I love it.
There we go.
Jamie, the Board Game Man, what is number 10 for you, sir?
This is a game when I was back, I feel like another lifetime ago, back when I was in the mortgage industry. And I remember I brought this game when I was working. And of course, he's passed away by now, but I had a friend of mine, you got to bring this game again. You got to bring it again. And he just absolutely loved it. It's good old Sequence.
Oh, Sequence, yes.
Love this game. It's just a simple game where, you have every card on the board, except for the jacks. So the jacks were, it depended on what kind of jack you had. What you're trying to do is trying to get 5 in a row in Sequence. If you have a 2-player, then you're trying to get 2 sequences, but if you're a 3 or 4 player, you only get 1, or trying to get 1. And pretty much you have the cards in your hand, and each card is represented on the board twice, except for jacks, like I said. The one-eyed jack, you're able to remove an opponent's token off the board. Well, a 2-eyed jack, you could place one of your tokens anywhere on the board. And it's so simple, but we played this on our lunch break. We would go to the parking structure where they had a bench there, and we sit there and play it during our lunch break almost every day for like 2 months. He loved playing this game. I thought, you know what? Since I played it so much and loved it so much, it needs to be in the 10. So I went ahead and put it as number 10. Good old Sequence.
Sequence has many. There's many versions of it.
Yes,
it's still in print today. And I do have an older couple. When they lived here, we used to play with them all the time. And Sequence was their game.
Oh, nice.
It is a fun. My wife enjoyed playing Sequence and everything. So it is a classic, and it is a classic that a lot of people forget about. It's a really good game. Don't pass it over by its looks. Play it once, and I think you will enjoy it.
Yeah, and the company made some more games too. The Sequence is their biggest one, but they make some pretty good little games.
Yeah. No, right. All right, good pick. Well, I love that you're still going with the classics, Jamie. That's just awesome. And that's why they're classics.
Yes.
Right. All right. So my number 10 is a board game that my wife will play with me. One of the few games she still plays with us, and that is Knockout. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, Knockout. Nice. You got
the Rammer Hammer, baby. Yeah.
The Rammer Hammer, the battery operated Rammer Hammer that blah, 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 blah. And it takes out these brick walls. You roll a die which color you're taking out, but you can't take out the knockout brick. If the knockout brick falls over, you lose the game. We play this when it comes out. It's the only game played that night, and it's played all night long. This is one of the games I've played the most in my collection. And the girls, we've taken turns letting them knock them out too for us on teams and stuff. And it's a lot of fun. We'll tell them which brick to hit, but they get to control the Rammer Hammer. And they love it too. They scream whenever the wall falls over. There's been cheap imitations. Like there's the Humpty Dumpty game where you take a little shovel and poke out bricks of the wall.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But
Yeah.
that's not. There's no rammer hammer. Get out of here. No. And this is one game that I don't understand why it had been reprinted, because it seems like this would be a no-brainer to reprint this. I think it'd be an awesome game.
Right.
Awesome game to reprint. But I'm not asking Restoration Games to come out and do something with it, even though that'd be awesome. But Knockout, pretty good game. My number 10.
Nice.
Norm, number 9.
All right. Well, I want to give a shout out to Axis and Allies. That, of course, is a classic. I have not played it yet, but that probably would be in my top group if I had. But anyway, I do have another game over here, and this is a game I love, and it is called Broadsides and Boarding Parties.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Now take a look at these components, man. This is the reason why I love the game. Those boats, man. I love it. Anyway, you got these 2 massive pirate ships, and they have these little guys on there. And it's been a while since I played it, but you have these cards that you play. Where's the middle of the board here? Here it is. You got these cards that you play, and you have these that you're basically making direction to your ship, and you're trying to set it up in a way to where you can try to shoot your opponent with your cannons and stuff. But if both the ships are together, you're going to move both these ships onto the board together, and then you're going to basically get on one ship's side and then try to take him out in hand-to-hand combat. I love this game. I mean, the biggest reason is because of these ships. I love the way these things look. The ships are a little rickety, but that's okay. It's just it's a great game. I love the way this game plays. It really makes you feel like you're in a pirate battle with the way the maneuvering is, and then the cannon fire, and you can knock out cannons, you can knock out holes, you can disable the ships and stuff. It's cool. Very awesome.
I love the games that look like they're toys. They're just so big and humongous. But board table presence is a factor when you're talking about board games. So
that's a big one, man. That's got some tremendous presence there.
Yeah.
All right, Jamie. What is number 9?
All right, sticking to the classics. This is 1983. Good old Scotland Yard.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a fun one where one of you is the bad guys, the other ones are the cops, and you're trying to chase this guy around. You either go riding taxis, buses, underground, and the bad guy is keeping track of where they're going. You're trying to guess where this bad guy is. It's a fun game. It's replayability through the roof. It's different every single time you play it. I just had to give homage to it. Scotland Yard.
That game's mechanism has been reprinted in today's games.
Yeah.
There's Whitechapel. There's another one. I can't remember. Like you're Jason from, and you're hunting kids around the Friday is what it's called. But to be honest, none of them compare to the original, I believe.
Yeah.
Scotland Yard, which version Whitechapel is a grown-up Scotland Yard. So,
yep.
We actually found this game the other day at a thrift store. We have a copy already, but I've never won that game unless I'm every time people think they have me, I get on the boat or the bus or something, and then I'm like, "How'd you get over there?"
That's awesome.
Well, my number. Hold on, where are we? We're on number 9. Yeah, my number 9 is a crossover, of course, with the game that Norm spoke about earlier. It's from Glenn Drover, the classic guy here. Conquest of Empire. This is the new version.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I have the older one.
Yeah, you had the older one. I did too until my little brothers broke all the pieces and lost them. But this came out from Eagle Griffin Games years ago. And before I was big into board games, my wife and I had just got married. And at the wedding, someone said, "Hey, Matt, did you know they reprinted that board game?" And I went, "What?" And so while we were on our honeymoon, I ordered it, and it came in when we got back, and I was so excited. And I didn't have anyone that knew how to play board games with me, but I would play this game by myself all the time. And then eventually we started playing with other people. Now, besides the stuff that Norm talked about, one of the things about this game is there's several different strategies you can have. Like he said, buildings. Fortified cities can actually count as generals, meaning they can fight and defend themselves against attacks. And then roads are so important. People forget how important roads are. They cost very cheap. And the thing is, though, when you have a road, you can move massive amounts of air spaces in one move. In one move. So roads are just really important. It's a thing that no one in my game group, when we play this game, no one buys roads but me, because they're all about their army.
Yeah.
But if your army can only move 1 to 2 spaces a turn, you're limited. So you got to have them roads. I also love it because this is a game where you have to trust, especially if you're playing with 6 players, which I haven't in forever, but would love to again. When you're playing multiple players, you have to have an ally because you're fighting on 2 fronts. The board is designed where you're usually fighting someone behind you and in front of you, or across on either side of you. So it's learning when you can betray that person. When can you betray that person?
Yeah.
Because if you do it too early, you're sunk, man. If you report and you miss, you're out because they're all going to turn on you and swallow you. But if you do,
that sounds like Roman history.
if you wait too long, they will take you out. So you have to have that perfect balance. Plus, the game is so smart because when you kill someone Caesar, you take all their land, which could force you into a higher inflation tier, and you're paying more for vehicles. You may stretch yourself too thin, like in Rome, and lose the game, even though you have the most land. You can't defend it all. So the game is very balanced in that way. Now, this game came with an advanced version with a pack of cards, which I've never opened up and never will because the classic game is the best. I do have a house rule about catapults because the base game there's no special rule about catapults, and they cost the most. I mean, I guess they're the ones you're least likely to roll on a die, but that's not really worth it for me. So we made a little rule about catapults on there. I remember I put in my original review, and everyone screamed at me because I didn't say house rule.
Oh gosh, yeah.
How dare you?
And now I try to say house rule, but I didn't say house rule because back then no one was watching my channel back then.
Yeah.
So I never said house rule because I was just trying to write down, make a video for the rules for me to watch.
Yeah.
Originally, that's what all my board game reviews were for me to watch them later or send them to my group to watch. And then other people started watching them. And at first I got offended that other people were watching my review.
I didn't know how to work a page out there that reviews board game pages, like a board game page that reviews other pages. It's like, well, he said this, but it says here on page 6, section.
Yeah. I try to get the rules right many times.
I try.
When I do have a house rule now, I make sure I say house rule. I do that. But Conquest of the Empire is just a great game for that reason. Glenn Drover made a lot of good games. Empire's Age of Discoveries, and there's another 1 or 2 that I have of his. Galactic Rebellion. I can't remember. Oh no. There's one I'm about to talk about later on. Never mind. It's in my top 10 later on. But Conquest of the Empire, classic game. The reprint is just as good. I love it. Still plastic coins and everything. My number 9. Good. All right. Norm, awesome. What's number 8?
All right. What is number 8? Let's see here. Okay. All right. You won't be surprised by this, Matt. Dark Tower.
I will not be surprised. What's this? Hey, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, I played this with you, Matt.
Yes, the first time I ever played
this game. Really, to me, I put this on the list because at the time when they made this, I think they had just come out with a microchip, and they made this tower. And this is like in 1981, and it has like you're basically selecting what you want to do here on this keypad, and then it has these little carousels that move around, and then it basically will do the game for you. Like it'll resolve the battles. You can purchase things. Just a very cool idea for the time. And, the game's a good game. I mean, it takes a little while to play. And the only thing is it doesn't have a save feature. I wish it did have that. But I've always liked this game. This is a rotating tower, too. So you can just spin it to do whatever you want. You can throw curses at people. And you're basically trying to defeat these brigands that are in the tower, and you're trying to get into the tower and take it over. You've got keys you got to find, and you got to get the right combination in order to get into the tower. But just a great game. I'm just thinking, I always keep thinking, like, what was it back then when this game first came out?
I know.
It was like right about the time when computers were starting to.
I bet it was next level for a lot of people. There's a reason it has a lot of nostalgia for people who played it.
The sad thing is the company, Milton Bradley, got sued a couple of years later because a couple of people said they stole their idea and Bill Bradley lost, so they had to stop making the game.
Which is why it was so expensive back then.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at prices of games now, it's it's probably around $250, $300. But it's I mean, if you're a collector, this is like, I think, a must-have, just because there's so much history behind it, and the artwork.
I do like how you can throw curses at other players in the game, even though I throw curses at people all the time during board games. I'm kidding. Joke. Anyway, yeah, Dark Towers are that's a grail game for a lot of people, and that's a big one for a good reason. Have you played the new version?
I have not, and I would love to.
I haven't either, but I know someone who has one, and I'm just waiting for a Saturday to open up. One day I'll have a Saturday open up, and I'm going to go play with.
Yeah, I'd love to know what you think about it. I mean, it looks fantastic. I know Bernardo did a thing on it. But yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah,
good choice, Restoration Games. Keep it up.
That's right. All right, Jamie. What is number?
All right, from 1989. They also have a version of this on Board Game Arena, actually, called Hugo. Midnight Party.
Oh yeah.
Yes, this is the one where you got guests and they're celebrating Hugo. He's the ghost, and as soon as he gets out on I think the promenade is what they call it. I think it is.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's like a mad race trying to get your people into these hiding from Hugo. So because if you get hit, you get put in the middle and you lose a lot of points. And you're just pretty much just trying to keep away from Hugo, going around in circles. He's chasing you around this party, and it's pretty crazy. And you just roll the die. One of the die has a special die. One side of the die has like Hugo on it. Every time you roll that Hugo, he moves 3 spaces, and if he goes around once, then it goes into 4 and 5 spaces. It changes more and more spaces. The more and more people start getting away from him until everybody gets hit. So what a great game!
Yeah.
Yeah, and his character, Hugo, covers the character, so he can put a place on top, and I really like that about it.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so good pick there. Folks, my number 8 is a very cheap game you can get anywhere. I've seen it for $5-10. I've seen people say, "Hey, just pay shipping and I'll give you the game." And I'm like, "Why?" Because Battleball.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Battleball. Yeah.
Nice.
Football of the future. Great figures in here. All different sided die, different colored die, a die cast metal football, and you are playing on a football field, rolling dice. Some people are faster than others, but when they meet up or they pass them to the side, you must do a roll off. And so one guy with a 20-sided die, he's so fast than a 6-sided die, but in the roll off, whoever rolls the lowest.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So the 6-sided die is usually going to win. And if they roll, and now if they get you down, then you put a damage token in that area where it'll block off that little square, and then that person is out for that half of the game.
Yep.
They can come back in the second half unless you rolled a 1. If you rolled a 1, they're out of the game completely. So you have 11 players, and you're smashing them against each other, and people could be dying. We had one game we played just recently of this, where there were so many damage tokens on the board, the ball couldn't move anymore. We had formed a wall,
that's great,
of carnage on the football field. And they said, "What happens now?" I said, "I don't know. I guess we just reset the half." You usually do have to play a third round because in a lot of our games, it always goes to overtime because if both teams score a touchdown each round, because the round ends when someone scores a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way to pass the football. They have a football shaped die that rolls, and so you're rolling that for passes. If you can mess up and throw an interception if the dice match. So you want the people who are faster to throw the die, not the slower ones. Very thematic, very awesome. This is one, honestly, pre-painted minis and everything. You got to buy. You have to buy this, folks. You have to get a copy of this game. Super cheap, well worth it. Restoration Games should take this and show people why it's awesome. I would love to see different teams. Now, they do have an advanced version where it's a red team and a blue team, and they have different powers. but one of the powers is greatly they're not balanced.
Yeah,
they're not balanced. So we don't play with that one, but you don't have to play with that one because the base game on its own, excellent
great.
game.
It's a great looking game on the table. The board's big. The minis are really
Yeah.
cool. The dice are cool. It's cool. It's a cool little.
Awesome.
It's a cool football game.
I love that game. Play it all the time. But and honestly, for a minute this year, I was thinking this could be my #1 game. I mean, that's how much I love the game. All right, but
awesome.
It made #8, which is still good. All right, so #7, Norm.
Okay. Well, Matt, you'll recognize this one. Me and you talked about this particular game a lot, and this was a game I really wanted to get. And my family and I have always enjoyed this game. It's a fun game for sure. It's a classic game, Fireball Island.
There you go.
Now, this is not a game that is very difficult to play. I mean, I think originally it was kind of like a kid's game, right? But the fun factor for me and my family, I think, is why this game is so high on the list. Anyway, you've got a 3D board. Love those. You've got Volcar here in the middle. He'll spit out marbles, and you're trying to get your little player over here off the island. You've got these little tokens over here that you can play. You got cards that you can use on yourself or your opponents. You can throw fireballs at people, which is always fun. If you knock them over, they have to go into a cave. But one of the things I've enjoyed about this, just knocking people over the marble is hilarious.
That's the best part.
And you've got the bridges here, which can knock people off the bridges. But the thing I've always realized about this game is that the games are always so close. And the reason is because of these bridges over here, because you have to stop on the bridges. And if someone knocks you off, then you have to get back up. And then by that time, people are catching up. I love this game, man. It's my family and I have always enjoyed it. My family likes to play simpler games. And this game looks great on the table. It's just fun and classic game, man. And I love the sequel that they finally made. Thank you, Restoration Games, for what you did for Fireball Island.
Yeah, the Restoration Games version I played a lot. They really did a bang up job. It's Restoration Games' best game they ever did, in my opinion. Of course, you can see it right here.
Yeah.
There's rumor that they were going to do another expansion, and I'm just sitting here waiting. I'm waiting for that day to come. But yeah, Fireball Island Classic there. All right.
Nice. Okay.
Jamie, what is #7?
Never know what I'm going to throw up there. All right. So this one was this year is 1997. It is a fun little card game called For Sale.
Oh yeah.
Yes, good old For Sale. First, you have a certain amount of coins you start off with, and what you're doing is you're bidding for these high-end properties. I think the properties go from 1 to 25 or 20, something like that. That's the first phase, and then you're trying to sell off the properties for the most money, and that's where it gets really tricky. Whoever has the highest number of property will get that the highest amount. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played it, and this game's also on Board Game Arena too. This is actually online as well. I'm trying to remember how I believe you start out by doing the properties, and then I believe you turn around and try to sell them. I think they give you a price for the dollar amount, and you have to put the highest property out there, and that's when you win that money back. And whoever really gets the most money out of both those phases wins the game. And there's probably a bit of strategy involved too. In the very first, you don't want to spend all your coins on one property. You got to try to get the highest property, but then again, you don't want to get stuck with the lowest one because those are automatically losses. So it's a really interesting game to play. I love it a lot. I played a lot on BGA, on Board Game Arena. So that's my #7, For Sale.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've heard a lot of good things. I've never played that one though.
Yeah,
I heard a lot of good things. Well, folks, I have not been putting classics on here because I don't own many classics. There is one classic though I do own, super classic. This is my girl's probably second, first, I don't know, maybe #1, #2 favorite board game. And is a classic board game here, and I have really loved it so much that finally made my top 10. That is the game of Memory.
Oh, Memory! I had that when I was a kid. I had that one.
This is the original version I had as a kid.
Same here.
With the tiles. Oh, you had this one too, Jim. Yeah,
I had when I was a kid. Yeah.
This tiles still hold up. A few have pieces on them. It's still a great game, great condition. Don't buy the one with the pack of cards, folks. It's cheap, but get the one with the tiles or any type. My girls love this. They have beat me most times because they have a better memory than I do now. I did finally win one. Nice. But we have played this game so much this year with my little girls, and I knew that my little girls would be my influence. A lot of the games they love are not influenced on me. They're not my top 50. This one is. This is one of their favorites, one that I've really come to enjoy and have a lot of fun with. That is the classic game of Memory.
That's really great for them.
That's the first game Jax played was Memory. He had a Thomas version of it, and that was the first game he ever played. I think he might have been 3 when he first started playing it. But a lot of games use that memory mechanic now. It's a classic, man. It is. It's a classic. Always will be.
It will.
Yes.
Norm, number 6.
All right, guys, here we go. This is a game that was not produced in the U.S. I had to end up getting this. I got this for a really good deal. And now I got to figure out how. Let's see. Okay, share screen. Here we go. It is called Space Crusade.
Oh, yeah. Really good one.
Space Crusade. Yes. This is like the sister of Heroquest, basically. But it's a big board. Check this. Check the way it looks here, Tons of components in this game too. There's like you've got the aliens, and then you've got the space cadet army and everything, and you're basically just battling on this board. But it plays like Heroquest. It has that dungeon crawler thing, well, and you've got different weapons, different characters, and let me just go over here. They have a mission manual and everything, and then it basically it's just basically a HeroQuest sister, so to speak. But it's a cool game for sure.
Wow.
There's a good look at it.
Look at the table presence on that thing.
Yeah. A newer version of this game is called Space Hulk, which has had several reprints as well, and it's really awesome. Yeah, I love that game. I haven't played Space Crusade, but I think the pieces look amazing in it.
Oh yeah, they are. The game is got so many components in there. It's crazy.
Oh yeah,
boards and pieces and guns and everything.
Awesome stuff. All right, Jamie.
All right. So this is from 1981. I have the original version. They've made a newer version of it, but it doesn't look nearly as good as a classic. And this one's kind of near and dear to my heart. This is one that when I was a kid, I saw it and I just fell in love with it. My aunt, who's passed away right before we moved here, she actually bought this and this is the actual game she bought me back in 1981. So this is something it's been really cared about. And that's the Enchanted Forest.
Oh yes,
this is a great little game. And again, it's another memory game too. When you're going around the forest, looking under the trees, trying to find. And I love this one because the artwork is so better. It's so much better than the newer one. You got the Puss in Boots, and you got the Cinderella slippers, and just the way everything looks on there. You do feel like you went back in time. You're looking for this stuff, and it's great. Yeah, once you find out, what you do is you flip a card and you try to find that item under the trees, and once you found them, you can head up to the castle. You have to land on the key space, and then you say, "Hey, it's under this tree." And I think the first player to get 3 trees, I believe, wins the game. And it's very easy, but just going through the forest, hunting under the trees, and then trying to remember. You don't want to go to too many trees, because then you got too many you're trying to remember, and then you might forget where the other ones are, unless you're Jaxie, or unless you're your daughters, then they'll probably remember. But I mean, yeah, it's a great game, and it's one, like I said, it's near and dear, and this is the original one she got me. I have never lost it. So
that's a pretty game too. It's I love the artwork. I love the components, the trees.
Yeah, exactly.
Growing up, I knew a family that owned the game, and I only got to play it once with them, but I kept wishing we could go back over to their house so I could play it again.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah. Classic. Love it. All right. Awesome. Folks, I've got kind of another classic game. This is the best game of the Civil War you'll ever find, and that is Battle Cry. 150th edition.
Wow.
150th Civil War edition. But they, what was it? Avalon Hill. Avalon Hill came out with the base game way back in the 80s, 70s, whenever. 2-player epic strategy game. Great looking pieces. I don't know if they show. Oh yeah, they do show a little bit of it, but that's what it looks like there.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Just really, really awesome stuff. As you are playing cards in your hand, and you can move your left, right, or center flank. The card will say, well, what happens if I run out of army or squadrons on my left flank? Well, then you need to start moving people from your center flank to your left so you can play those cards out. This is super strategic. Lots of things that you can fight. You put city tiles, forest tiles, which do different things, hinder movement, prevent battles. You can climb mountains, get the high ground for better aim, better range on your firing, or dig into a trench for better defense, and then flip over the token to fortify those trenches for even better defense. But it takes time. You have to use a movement to fortify, and that could be another movement where they're moving forward on you.
Yeah.
You're trying to get X amount of flags depending on the scenario. And this game has been so well tested over the years. This is a game that people are obsessed about. Get the Avalon Hill version if you can't afford the 150th edition. This edition just comes with more scenarios, basically. But they have a scenario for every battle ever fought between 1861 and 1865. And
well, that's cool.
So they set the scenarios, and it's such a great game. I've played through every scenario twice at least, and then some of them 3 times. I'm going back through and playing again. I have a buddy of mine. He's a reenactor. And so, of course, this is one of his favorite games to play. My other buddy, who I didn't know if he would like it, we sat and he said, hey, would you mind if we just play this for the rest of the night? And I went, sure, you like him? I loved it. And so we just played it. And then my wife has sat down and played it with me too. When I first got it in, she played it with me a lot. So so well tested, play tested that when you get to like, one of them says like six flags, well, you can capture up to 10. And I always feel like, oh man, I could have won. But you keep playing. No, they know exactly when the tipping point is. Even though you think we have a rule that says if you want to keep going, you can keep playing. If both teams agree to keep playing it out, you can. Sometimes the person who just lost goes, oh, I was just about to win. No, once they capture that X flag in that scenario, unless someone makes a grievous mistake, which throws the whole game. But every time, my wife and I agreed to play every game through, like until we wiped out the other army. And sure enough, once you lose that, whatever it is, 7th flag, 8th flag, 6th flag, or whatever in the game is over. Unless, like I said, again, unless someone makes just a dumb move, they're going to win every time. And I was just amazed. That means that game was so play tested that they know the exact moment when the tide has shifted and it's the point of no return. People are obsessed over this game online, and I can see why. Battlecry used to be my #1 game. Used to be a #1 game. In fact, what was it last year? It may have been #1 last year. No, it was #1 2 years ago. But yeah, still awesome game. Awesome game. Battlecry. All right, #5, Norm. Now it's the top 5.
5.
All right. This is a crossover, baby.
Nice.
We're gonna have some crossover here, I guarantee you. Now,
I love this game, and this is a game. This was from the '90s, and I found this like at a thrift store a while ago, and I love this game, the Omega Virus. Okay, folks. For those of you who aren't familiar with vintage games, just look at this. Look at this picture. Okay, I mean that's awesome to look at. I mean, it's so awesome. Colorful and pretty. And it's just a fantastic. It's like you said, Matt. This is like probably the greatest electronic game. I love this game. You're just going through all these rooms trying to figure out where this virus is, and you've got this electronic unit basically talking trash to you, and you have a time limit, and then these boards are going to eventually flip over as the spaceship is shutting down and stuff. Man, I love this game. The way this game looks. I mean, look, I've never seen a game that looks like this. Right?
No,
looks like a mandala almost. And it's just man, it's just so much fun. I love that game very much, and I've seen this game on everybody. I don't think I have not seen a vintage list where this game was not in the top 20 at least. I think.
Oh yeah, it's got to be. It's a fantastic.
Yeah,
I've
it's
seen
like
I've seen regular top 100s that put this one at number 10 or 9. Right, some people have this in their top 10.
Yeah, I've seen that. I mean, I have yet to see a list that does not have this game on there.
Wow. I kicked myself in the pants when I lived in California. There was a lady that had that brand new copy for $40.
Oh man!
And I got to her too late. I didn't see it was in Facebook Marketplace. She had it. I'm like, oh, I just sold it.
Oh no!
Otherwise, I would have owned it. I know.
Wow.
So I haven't played it. So
Wow.
unfortunately, this vintage list doesn't have it. I never played it, and I would love to do that.
Right. That's fair. That's fair. Number
Yeah.
5, Jamie.
Number 5, still going with the classics. This is probably maybe a surprise, but I played this a few games. Damn, this game is so much fun, though. What year did this come out? This came out in 1994. It's good old Last Chance. This is a great game where you play 7 rounds, and there's a card that shows up, and you're actually placing bids whether you think you can actually roll that combination of dice. It tells you how many die rolls you get to try to get it. And you're really trying to, when people are bidding against you, you actually have that yes or no, or I think, well, actually on my copy, I think it has a 40 plover on one side, thinking you're going to bet, okay, I think you're going to roll that. And then you hit no, and then you place a bet. So you're actually kind of rolling for yourself, trying to get this card. But in the meantime, you don't want to lose because you want them to win because you lost, So, but whoever has the most coins after 7, and you have to have at least 1 card in front of you. That's when you completed a card. You have to have at least 1 completed in front of you in order to be able to count your money in front of you. And then whoever has the most money wins the game. It can get pretty crazy and wild. I mean, when you got the one last roll, you got one last 6 to roll. If you don't get it, I won. It's a great game. So, Last Chance is my number 5.
Yeah, it's another. It's another game that looks. It's got the really cool dice tray. It's got the good quality poker chips too.
Yes, the chips are really nice.
Yeah, it's a good game. Really is.
All right.
Yeah.
All right,
we got a crossover for my number 5. Norm mentioned this way earlier on the list here, but whoa, look out! That's number 4.
Oh,
that is number 5. Star
there
Wars
you go.
Flip upside down there.
Upside down. There you go.
This was the episode 2 game to beat all games here, where you take the classics again with the prequels and you pit them up against each other in different areas. Lots of minis.
Look at
lots of minis, lots of areas to play. Lots of strategy here where you're playing cards, taking cards, moving on the board, fighting. This is, like we said, unmatched now. My wife won her first game of Dream Phone this year. I finally won my first game of Epic Duels. So yeah, awesome game. Colorful minis. This does cost a little bit, not too much. I'd say about $80 maybe.
Yeah. About
that. But with all the minis, it's probably worth it. But if you ever want to know, hey, would Grievous beat, Luke Skywalker? Well, not Grievous. He was in episode 3. Would Dooku beat Luke Skywalker? How would Darth Vader fare against his younger self, Anakin?
Yeah.
All those what-if battles you can play off. And Star Wars Epic Duels is a classic. I love it. It's my number 5.
It's a good one.
Sweet.
Yeah. One we'd already talked about, but that's okay because we're not done with the crossover yet. number 4, Norm.
I have a feeling the game I'm about to present is going to be a crossover here. Okay, well, the first time I remember seeing this game, Matt actually came over, was in town and came to my house, and he found this game at I think a swap meet or something like that.
He's already typing it in.
I'm typing it in.
Then he proceeded to play Pac-Man and cheat online, which is okay.
Yes.
But anyway, here it is. It is a Sid Saxon classic. It is called Can't Stop.
Can't
Stop. You can't stop, baby.
Oh, yeah. That's another thing. Matt constantly kept saying, you can't stop, Norm. You can't stop. You can't stop. Of course, me being Mr. I have to listen to Matt.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a game, a press your luck game. You've got 4 dice, and you're trying to get 2 of your chips over here to the top. So if you roll an 8, you have these little things that you can move, and you can stop at any time. And whenever you do, you'll take this off and then replace it with your chip. And you're just trying to get them up here. But if you end up you only have like 3 of these things that you can use. So you can only go for a maximum of 3 numbers. And if you don't roll some combination of that number, then you're going to lose your turn and lose your progress that you had for that turn. And of course, the game board is a stop sign. I love that. That's just so cool.
Yes.
It's a very simple game, but man, this game is so much fun. I enjoy this game.
It's addicting.
It is
Very addicting.
I would love to play this game with Matt and see if I could actually pull one and just off and change one in front of the entire world.
It's still in print today.
In
print today. You need to copy today. Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, Jamie, number 4.
Well, I can definitely see a crossover.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you kidding me? You are kidding me.
Heck yeah.
Same number. Yes.
Wow. The exact same number, too.
Exact same number. And they also have an offshoot, Can't Stop Express. I don't know if you've seen that one. It came out in 1989.
Yep.
I also have that in there too. And that's a cool little offshoot too with the 5th die. And then that's a good offshoot too. But yeah, I saw Norm bring up Can't Stop. I go, heck yeah. I actually matched him for the same number. Yeah, that's a great game.
That would happen at least once.
Exactly. I'm glad I was involved in that one. Yeah, that's a game you just love it. It's the ultimate push your luck game, I think.
That is hilarious that we had those. So mine is also a crossover with Norm. I'm just a little bit behind him, but that's because I appreciate the games a little bit more than he does. I'm kidding. It's Fireball Island.
Not by much.
I do play with the classic edition. There it is. The reason why this one, I mean, I love the restoration games. Still the best thing restoration games made was Fireball Island. This year, though, I have actually played the original more than this one because my little girls, this is a little too much for them, but they can play the original right now. And I know because I played this game so much as a kid. Yeah. Every stone painted space on the board, I just know. And, it's so beautiful. And the rules are simple enough for the girls to enjoy. And we have a great time playing it. And I've loved playing the classic version. This is one of it will always be one of my all-time favorite. I can't imagine a vintage board game list without this in my top 10 because this game has meant so much to me over my entire life. Thanks now to restoration games, but even in the past, Fireball and the classic one. This is another one that easily could have been my number one any given day. But I love Fireball, and I played the classic for the first time in like 3 years. And I played it now more for the first time than this version, which I love. But I played the original version better. So it just goes to show you can't beat the classic. So Fireball Island, my number 4.
Nice.
I was going to say, too, this is a game like if you were trying to introduce people to vintage games, this is one of those games you could introduce to people.
Oh, yeah.
I think it is the epitome of what vintage games is all about.
Absolutely.
And I know for me, when we first started our challenge, Matt, I mean, both of us, there's just something about vintage games that you just can't get anymore, I guess. And this is a perfect example. Not that there's some fantastic games right now, but there's just something about the older games.
Oh, yeah.
It brings out
so much character.
Yeah.
There really is.
Okay, let's see. What is number 3? Are we number 3?
Yep, number 3.
Now.
Okay. I got to get this game up real quick.
It's getting serious.
This is a game I found out about. I was stunned at the use of a component on this game. This game comes out from 1971. It's a beautiful looking game. It is called Voice of the Mummy.
Oh, I wish I had this game. I would love to play this game.
This game is awesome. This is just the way the game looks. Isn't that beautiful? I love that. That's the box. Part of the box is on the bottom over there. So it uses the box, which I love that idea. And then you have this little 3D board on top along with this. It's a mummy casket of some kind. But inside the mummy casket, there is, let me see if I can find a picture.
That's so awesome looking.
There's a record player.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
In there.
There's the record.
Yeah, there's
you see it right there. There you go.
The record.
Yeah.
And
wow.
I just saw a picture of it. There it is. That's what.
Oh, there you go.
You open up the casket and you put the record in there. And then you push a little button on there when you land on these certain spaces, and then it'll tell you what to do with this real scary voice, like, you have this and that to grab a jewel. But you're essentially,
that's awesome.
To get, there's 2 components. I mean, there's these beautiful looking jewels, but then you also have a staff, and oh gosh, it's been so long since I played this game. There's the jewel. And I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to get that jewel back over here to your home spot. But in the beginning, you're going to be, working your way up. But then once you start working your way down, you can go in any direction. And then it becomes like a free-for-all trying to get that jewel.
That's awesome.
I love how they somehow are able to incorporate this record idea because it randomly will play the selections, right? It won't. It somehow they figured out how to do a random thing back in 1971.
71, yeah.
Record player. I mean, that to me, I mean, the game looks amazing, but this is just another one of those ideas where like they took a technology back in the day and they somehow were able to convert it to a board game, and not just a board game, but a really amazing, fantastic, fun board game. So I love this game. I just love it. You know,
nowadays you just put a CD in there, just okay. But back then,
what we did too is, since the record player doesn't work in our copy, we got I decided I got the sound files from somebody, and then I put them in an iPod, and then I have a speaker in there now. So
nice.
I just hit the random thing on there, and it does
random.
It's the same way.
Oh wow.
But
that's a great idea.
Yeah, so if you can't get the full copy, you can just get the one with a broken record, and then I've got the sound files if anybody needs them. So
wow, cool.
Wow.
I'm feeling that being your top 10. All right, Jamie.
All right. Well, this one, let's see, it came out in 1995, the original. This kind of revolutionized the whole board game industry here. This is one I'm really late to the party. I mean, I literally just learned this thing, I think this year or last year. And I played it, and oh my gosh, what a game. Catan. A lot of people kind of down with Catan there, but wow.
Yeah.
It took me a while, and I thought, I got to learn this game. I got to learn this game. And I actually bought this copy. It's funny, I was still in California. And a lady, she had on Facebook Marketplace, and I came up there. She goes, I had this brand new $7. $7 for a sealed copy. And I also got Seafarers as well for $7.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Both completely sealed. And so $14, I got both those. And it's still sealed because I've been playing it online. I have not played it physically yet. It's still in the original packaging still. But I had to throw Catan in there. Man, when I finally learned it, I'm like, wow, now I can see what the craze was when it first came out. I know I'm way behind, but I'm glad I finally took the time to learn it. Man, what a game it is.
It's a lovely game. And if you do get to play Seafarers, it's a lot of fun. My favorite expansion of the base expansions is Traders and Barbarians. I'm actually taking this game to the beach with me. And we're going to play all the versions of Catan.
Sweet. Really?
Yeah. Have you ever played the card game, the Rivals version?
No, I have not. I have not played that version.
It's a good version.
Is it really?
Good. Yeah, it's for 2 players, and I've only played it like one time, but I like the way it works.
How's the dice game? You guys have the dice version? Because I have the dice game in there. I haven't.
I played that, and that's fun too. It's been a while since I played that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Catan would probably be on my list if I actually had a third player to play it with.
I know.
Matt or Jamie, feel free to come by so I can put this.
I love it. My board game group won't play it, so I don't get to play it that much. But my nephew said they would, so I was like, "Great, we're bringing that because I love Catan. I love Catan."
Yeah.
All right. My number 3 is our triple crossover here.
Nice.
1 point left, but you guys don't appreciate this game as much.
The trifecta.
Yeah, you can't stop. You can't stop. For everything y'all said, there is another expansion they came out with called Rolling Down the Highway. Don't buy it. I have it. You're putting little tokens inside each one of these squares, and when you finish your turn, you flip over that square to see what you get. Sometimes it moves you to the left, sometimes to the right, sometimes up, sometimes down. Sometimes it makes you switch places with someone else, or all these little things. But Can't Stop Rolling Down the Highway makes a game where there's no setup time for this, folks. But if you play Rolling Down the Highway with it, then there's like 15 minutes of you putting every little cardboard token inside these slots. And then there's forever trying to flip it over and then move. It makes more chaos. I don't know why. It is one of the worst expansions I've ever seen. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And Can't Stop is excellent on its own. But Rolling Down the Highway, I still have it in there because it was like it was on sale for like $3-5. And I know why now. I know why. Because it's just such a terrible expansion to the game. But Can't Stop, classic, number 3.
There's a caveat to that because they came out with the Mother Road, Route 66, which is very similar. It's Saxons too. Yeah. And it's called the Mother Road. It's very similar. It plays very, very. Have you guys played it?
I have
seen it.
I've not played that one.
I think War Game Arena has that. I think.
Okay.
Yes, Roots. I believe they do. Yes, that's how I found out about it. It plays very similar.
I was gonna say, Matt, with your propensity to cheat, you could have put Can't Stop at number 4, and we wouldn't have known. Really, it's number 3, but I'm gonna put it at number 4.
Nice.
I had it at number 3.
It gotta be different.
It's so funny that we all had it so close together. But it's
Oh,
a great
yeah.
game. Honestly, this one was number 1 very early. When I would have made this list, this would have probably been number 1. I played it so much this year. And I thought it was number 1, and then I realized, nope, there's just two games.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good.
Norm, I got to ask you, what is the
Number
second
2.
best finished board game of
2.
all time?
We're at number 2, guys. Man. Okay. All right. Well, this is one of the first games I remember playing as a kid. This game goes for probably about $200 now, which is stunning to me, but I can understand why. This game, oh wait, there we go. Okay, here we go. I'm still doing the share screen here. This game is called Crossbows and Catapults. Baby.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Classic.
Yeah, now this, there we go. Basically, this is one of those dexterity games, I guess you can call it, where you've got a castle and some walls and these little carom chips here. And you're going to be about 6 feet apart, and you've got a crossbow and a catapult here that you're going to fling these things towards. And there's a lot of different variant ways to play the game, but mainly you're trying to knock the castle over and land one of your carom chips over here on this treasure. Now you can also, I think there's spies in the game, and you also have ways you can move the carom things closer, but just shooting these things and watching these pieces fall over and trying to aim right.
It's so much fun.
Oh gosh, yeah. This game is amazing. I love, and they have like battleground crossbows and catapults that came out several years later, which is basically the same idea, but it's bigger, and just has a different rule set or whatever. But this game has like about 4 different ways you can play. But it's fun. It's a great, what we do is we'll usually, since the crossbow is easier to use than the catapult, we'll just have a rule where we just alternate using them and stuff like that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
But, classic fun game. There we go.
Yeah.
That's my number 2.
That's great. That's great. I love it. All right. That's another one with lots of big table presence in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think they made I was looking it up. I think they made a reprint of that or something.
I think Restoration Games, I think.
Yeah, I think some of that. I couldn't find the name right now, but I know a lot of people are probably screaming watching the video at me. But anyway, number 2, Jamie.
All right. This is originally came out in 2004. And this has many, many different versions to it. And they're still doing it to this day, with Paris being the newest one. I got to throw that Ticket to Ride in there. I know it's my favorite game right there.
I can't believe that game's like 20-something years old now. My goodness.
Yeah, 2004. I absolutely love this game, even though I get my butt kicked in it. I don't know what it is. I play okay, but man, it's very rare for me to win. Especially on Board Game Arena. I lose almost every time. I'm like, doggone it. I play like 20 games, won like twice. But I still love the game. I guess it's that drive. I gotta win this time. You know, getting that longest one can be a little difficult. Getting that extra bonus 10 points, just having the longest track. But man, what a great, it's amazing how many different options. I mean, I had almost all of them up here. Except for Markland, that's kind of expensive, but pretty much all the other ones I have up here, and just having the way they've changed a little bit here on each one of them has just been fantastic. So some a lot more brutal, some are a lot too easy. I like the gotcha. I always like the gotcha. Hey, I got that road. You can't go that way. Now you got to go around. You know, it could be a little frustrating too. It can be very frustrating when you're trying to go a certain way and someone will just put the train because they know where you're going. Like, oh, come on, you're over there. You know, but yeah, what a great. It's a great series. I love the series, and Ticket to Ride's my number 2.
I would love to get Rails and Sails.
Yep, Rails and Sails. That's a big one.
You know,
I got lucky. This guy sold me for $40. I was like shocked.
Oh,
and
wow.
I think it goes for like double that.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, you talk about classics. I have one of these Grail games that costs hundreds of dollars, and of course, Norm bringing out Voice of the Mummy is a big expensive one. I think I've got the most expensive one here that we're going to be talking about today. Maybe, I think. It's Queen's Gambit, Star Wars. Avalon Hill did this back in the day. This is amazing. 3 different boards, 4 different areas to play in. You're Anakin trying to fight all the drone ships to shut down the Federation droids. You're battling Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul. And that's one board. The other board is the Gungans and the Trade Federation droids fighting it out on the field. which just gives you extra cards for the next round to play. And then the middle section is this 3-tiered tower. Here it is, 3-tiered tower, where you're trying to, as Padme, Captain Banaka, and her guards, you're trying to make it up this tower here to the top to surround the Trade Federation viceroys to win the game. I've only seen someone do that once, and that was the most recent game I played. I can't believe he did it. I never seen. Usually the game ends with Anakin shutting everything down. And it's mostly, I have seen the villains win a few times. It's harder for the villains to win. So when you play this, make the least experienced player play the villains. I mean, the most experienced plays the villains. But I have seen about 3 or 4 times where we've won. I've been one of them. And a few other people have gotten to where they win. But this game plays just like episode 1. It is unbelievably good. They made extra pieces of the minis and then put them in the game just in case you lose some. No game does that today. No game does that today.
No.
This is an amazing game. If you can't afford it, get Star Wars Risk, which Star Wars Risk is basically this is Queen's Gambit Light.
Yeah.
Okay.
Based off Return of the Jedi. You're Luke fighting Darth Vader, and then the middle field is the Millennium Falcon trying to destroy the Death Star, and then the other field, I can't remember what it is, but anyway, it's everyone goes, wow, Star Wars Risk is amazing. Yeah, that's because it's a cheap version of this. Now, I would love to play Star Wars Risk sometime.
Yeah, I have that version.
You have it?
Man, that is a game that's on my list to get eventually. You know, once I can sell my car, I'll go.
Yeah, I know.
There you go.
Right? Yeah, but I love Queen's Gambit. It is well. I remember I bought it back when it was under $400 back then. And I remember telling my wife, because we played it at my buddy's house in Phoenix, and I just wanted to play it once. I was not going to pay $350 for a board game, which is what was costing $350 to $400 back then. Yeah. And after we played it, I called my wife and went, "I'm so sorry, I have to own this game." And she goes, "Oh, go ahead and get it." I was like, "Okay." I said that was the most amazing thing I'd ever played. And every year around New Year's, my buddy comes in from Indianapolis, and he says, "Matt, set up Queen's Gambit." We always start with Queen's Gambit. And then it's whatever else I want to play. But we have to play Queen's Gambit first.
That's awesome.
This is just an incredible game. It is the biggest game I have. Most expensive. Now, sadly, it goes for like $600 or something now. But it is so, I'll be honest, worth every penny. Worth every penny.
Oh.
All right. Well, we talked about all the games, ladies and gentlemen. But Norm, what is the #1 board game?
It's come down to this.
Monopoly. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm just playing. I've waited all year to say that. Okay, guys. Well, this game to me, it's still played today. This game has unlimited replayability, in my opinion, because people can make their own things up with this game. Hasbro recently just re-released this game. They were able to raise over $1 million, I think, to get it, and it is Heroquest. I love this game. Here we go. This game, I think, is what started the Dungeon Crawl series. But you've got like these 4 different little warrior guys, or like a dwarf or whatever. Now, the board starts off, there's nothing on it. But then you have a person who is, I guess, the game master. But anyway, once the person moves, the game master is going to go ahead and start placing pieces on the board in the guy's line of sight. It can be, orcs or whatever. It could be traps. It could be doors. It could be a lot of different things, and this game is amazing. I love. This is kind of like D&D in a board game. It's more. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word I'm looking for. But essentially, this game is what started, I think, the entire Dungeon Crawl series of games that are out now. And the game was expensive to get, especially the expansions. I mean, the expansions are going for about as much as Queen's Gambit is. But since Hasbro has now put them out, you can get them for much more. Excuse me. You can get them for a more affordable price. But people, they're actually making. You can make your own quests. You can make whatever you want with this game. Love this game.
Yeah, awesome. A lot of people love that game as well. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Monopoly.
They have a reprint. Hasbro did a reprint of that too. I hear.
Yeah, they did. It looks good.
All
too.
right. Oh no, go ahead.
Oh, that's it. I'm good.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Cool.
Amy, number one. He
This
said
one,
Monopoly. I'm kidding.
No, not Monopoly. Even though I did play that a lot when I was a kid, though. But my parents hated it. My sister hated it too because I always brought it out all the time. This one it began in 1962, and they have this version come out every single year. I remember when I played this when I was younger. A buddy of mine, he was a big baseball fan, and he brought over one version of this game, and I had played many hours. I always played both teams in Strat-o-matic baseball. I absolutely love Strat-o-matic baseball. This is, this is a newer version of it, but every year they come out with all the players for every single team, and it's replayability through the roof. They also, every single player, every single team, they have them in there. Every year they bring them out. These people actually go to this place every year to stand in line to get the newest team for that year. Of course, probably not just the team, but it's the whole season.
The whole roster, every team. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you want they have all-star teams that they put together. If you want the 81 World Series against the 81 Dodgers versus the 86 Mets, you never know, I mean, you can play any team, it's just amazing. And I just, now thinking about it, I kind of want to break it out and play a game. But I never actually played with somebody else. I've always played both teams. I've always played solo with both teams, and it's just so much fun. I mean, if you love baseball, if you don't love baseball, probably won't like it because it's very stat. I've only played the basic version because I do have an advanced version and a super advanced where it's nighttime, daytime, lefty versus right. I mean, I haven't never really got that.
Righty, I've played. That's about as advanced as I'll get is lefty versus righty. Yeah,
that's as far as I've gone too. But I just had, because I was going through my games and I saw Strat-o-matic. I'm like, you know what? I was so excited when I saw this in McKay's. It was brand new. Got like $20. These are not cheap. I mean, some of these versions are. You go on eBay, it costs you $20 just for one team.
Yeah.
I think I found a couple of copies a while ago, and I think they sold for about $40 each. I think.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I mean, if you're into baseball, which I am, baseball has been the only sport I've watched for many years. I mean, no other sport existed until later on in life. I finally started watching hockey and being a Kings fan and everything else, but Strat-o-matic I had to throw out there because it was just a game that just brought a lot of joy to me when I was a kid. I always, got to be that player, got to be this team, and it fun, just a lot of fun. So Strat-o-matic baseball, numero uno.
Awesome. Folks, my number one, I'm just going to leave it up here. I can't believe you picked my number one. It is Strat-o-matic baseball.
What? Are you serious?
Back to the number one spot. It is.
No way.
I'll be honest right now.
Oh, wow.
I've been playing this game for 30-something years. I was thinking about this the other day. I've been playing this game for 37 years, I want to say, or something. When I was a kid, my dad taught to me. And then when I turned 12, 13, I was 12 years old, my dad stopped buying the season because they were getting too expensive, and we couldn't afford it. And I complained. I was like, Dad, we got to have the new season, because Dad would always buy it for us.
Oh, that's
decks
cool.
Of cards.
That's awesome.
And so I said, well, Dad, what happens? This guy's not a pirate anymore. He plays for the Braves now, Dad. What am I supposed to do? And Dad scratched out Pirates and wrote Braves over it. And I went, and then I thought, wait a minute, rookies. I said, Dad, there's no rookies. We need the rookies. Dad goes, okay, who do we need? And I told him the rookie's name. He said, give me his baseball card. We looked and saw what his stats were. Dad went
very cool.
Dad went through the old deck of cards of previous seasons, found someone who matched those stats, and then got an index card, a ruler, and a pencil, and made out the own. He said, there you go. And I went, what? And Dad goes, he said, I did that all the time as a kid. I would grab players, Babe Ruth and all them, and put them in with my favorite players back in the day. He made an all-star Yankees team. And he goes, I used to do that all the time. And I went, you can put anyone? He's like, yeah. And I went, and that was when Matt played first base for the New York Mets that year.
There you go.
A lot of home runs on that card, Jamie.
I bet there was.
I'm sure, and a corked bat too.
Yeah, exactly.
but now today, I play this game. I play through a whole season every year, Jamie.
That's awesome.
I was 13. I created my first 4 teams when I was 13, and I've been playing my own little mini season. That went to 8. That went to 16. That now is at 18 or 20 or right now. And the thing is, over the past 4, this has not been my number one game in about 4 or 5 years now. Ever since my kids were born, I just haven't had the time to play.
Right.
And so I had to cut my season to 1/3 of what it used to be. Then the second year, I had to cut teams, and that hurt my heart because I just didn't have enough time to play.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
the third year, I just got rid of the All-Star game because it didn't make sense when I'm playing 1/3 of a season with less teams. Why have an All-Star game? So I cut the All-Star game. And then last year, I had a whole women's league. I had a whole women's league too, and I cut them out just so I could have time to play this throughout the year. And this year, we finally played. There was plenty of time. I'm already done playing my season, and I'm going to bring back the All-Star game. I'm adding more teams back, and I'm going to make it a regular season again. I'm not going to bring back the women's league. I think that's gone forever now. But I put all my friends in it. So you guys are on a team. You play baseball. Everyone, I put all my friends, whoever I know, everyone gets on a team. We all, I play a whole season of it, and I've not thrown a no-hitter in this game in my entire life. I just threw one this year. It is so hard to throw a no-hitter in baseball.
It's impossible. Wow, I thought so anyway.
In the game, it's really hard. You can't
cheat
at that. You roll the die, it could pop up. That's it. And to roll the die, I've had a few one-hitters in my life. I've never thrown a no-hitter. I threw my first no-hitter. I felt like a champion. And then my team, which hasn't won in like 5 years, finally got the World Series ring this year. It used to be when I was a kid, my team was the best. My team was stacked with all the All-Stars. And then after a while, when I got out of college, I went, you know what, this isn't fun anymore. I want other teams I want to play against other teams. So then I started balancing out the teams a little bit better. And my team won, I think, 5 years ago. And then the next year they went to the World Series and lost. The next year they went to the playoffs and lost. The next year they didn't even make the playoffs. And then the fourth year they made the playoffs and lost. And then last year they went to the World Series and got swept. I mean, got beat like a drum. I was shocked. I was like, whoa. But, you can't stop the rolls.
You can't.
And this year, after a drought of 5 years, I finally came back and won a World Series. So, I mean, it just made for the perfect season. And I'll be honest, Queen's Gambit was a former #1. That one almost went #1. Can't Stop almost warms my heart.
It does.
That you love this game so much because it is a game I do play solo because, I mean, you can't – it's so easy to play solo because it's whatever the die says you have to do. So even though I'm cheering for one team, they can't win because the dice don't roll their way.
Right.
So you kind of want to cheat, but you really can't in the game.
Yeah.
Norm knows the feeling.
Anyway.
All right. That is awesome. That's
cool. What a finish. What a finish.
There's only one thing wrong with Strat-o-matic baseball. It's not Monopoly. I'm sorry.
No, get out of here.
I'm playing.
Hey, folks, thanks for watching. Norm, Jamie, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
This is always fun, folks. Let us know in the comments below what are your favorite vintage games, and we will see you later. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
See ya.